Music is going to be this weekend. That's why we call on the talents of one Chad Taylor from Bombshell to get us up to speed as to what's going on with all the great music.
How's it going, guys?
Good.
Not too bad. Not too bad.
Can you catch us up on what your opinion was of the Hinterland Festival?
I can. You know, the one big thing we talked about last week was whether or not the last-second venue change would affect the attendance, whether people would either get refunds or else maybe decide to go and then not. Apparently, by all accounts, not a problem. Everything went very, very smoothly. And of they had the attendance capped at 16,000, and it looks like we're going to have about 15,000 total when it's all said and done.
That's pretty impressive after moving like that.
After moving, first-year festival, but it was like I said, it was handled really beautifully. They had a free shuttle running from Waterworks Park down to St. Charles that ran about every 25-30 minutes.
That's even better.
So they were bringing busloads of people down. There was parking, there was camping, and you know the event started with the Envy Corps, finished Saturday night with Old Crow Medicine Show, and between that, about 15,000 people got to see all these acts play. So it was a rousing success, and I would actually expect they're going to probably keep it down in St. Charles next year.
I was just going to ask that next. Do you think they are going to try Waterworks again, or do you think they said this works, let's keep it? I
think the combination of just not being sure what's going to happen at Waterworks Park from day to day, combined with just how well that venue worked in St. Charles, I think they're going to keep it down. I talked to Sam for a little bit at the festival, and he was really pleased with not only the attendance and the reaction, but also just how well everything works at that venue. It's got a natural bowl shape because of it's in a valley, so it kind of really focuses your attention down on the stage. Those hills are a little rough to work your way up there after a day of being in the sun and maybe having a couple of beers. But other than that, it's a really great place to be. So I would expect it to be there next year as well.
Maybe that's what it needed. Maybe it needed a situation like that to show what a great place it is.
You know, and I think it does. And I know that the folks who run the Avenue of the Saints Amphitheater couldn't have been happier with the way it worked out. And that's exactly what they were saying, was that this is really the one thing we needed to kind of showcase just how great of a venue we have down here. So I would not only expect Hinterland to stay there, but I wouldn't be surprised to see more venues, some more events try that venue out, because it's not that far from downtown. It's only a half an hour, 25-minute drive, and it's a really beautiful place. So I would expect to see more business headed down that way.
All right, good for them.
One thing else, kind of news related, the Des Moines Metro Opera, they've got a Iowa educational touring troupe that they've been doing for about 29 years. This next year will be their 30th season, and they've received a grant from the Cowles Foundation for $150,000 to keep that thing running for the next 3 years.
Nice.
So that's it's always nice when you've got something like that where you're kind of on a shoestring budget. It's nice to kind of take that financial worry out of how you're going to keep things going for the foreseeable future. Right. So that's big thanks to the Cowles Foundation for that, to kind of keep music education in Des Moines going strong. So we're glad to see that. As far as upcoming shows, one we were just talking about on the break there is that the Flying Marsupials are getting together and playing out in Adel at the was that the corner
Sweet Corn Festival.
Yeah. So, which is nice, because the Flying Marsupials have been kind of a great local band, playing a lot of covers and the occasional original for 30 years now. Yeah, and so they play an annual show that used to be at House of Bricks, because J.C. Wilson, was an owner in the Marsupials. I'm not sure if they're going to keep doing that now, since they've got the smaller stage and stuff there. So any chance you get a chance to see these guys get out and play, which is only once, maybe twice a year, it's kind of a good time. So if you're going to be in Adel, go check that out.
That's a good idea.
And then finally, the big show happening downtown, I suppose, the last of the big festivals to happen in Des Moines, 515 Alive, which is going to be all electronic music, house music, club DJs, a lot of dancing, a lot of partying. It's happening this weekend, Friday and Saturday. 2-day passes are still available. And the reason why I like this, whether you're a fan of electronic DJs or not, is that this is a completely homegrown festival. They haven't had a nonprofit foundation behind them. They haven't had a lot of investors. They haven't had a lot of outside money come in. This has been grown by basically local DJs. So it started out just as kind of one stage down in the East Village, one night a year, and has grown now into this multi-stage event that's happening in Western Gateway Park, where they're expecting probably 10,000 people. I mean, it's become this huge event, and it's completely locally grown and locally focused. So it's a really good time. And if you like to dance, there's not going to be a better 2-day party in the city. So I would always check that out.
Lou, apparently, we also have a cherry on top of the sundae.
Cherry on top of the sundae. Oh. Jason Parkin, like a fat kids.
What?
Coming to the Vaudeville News. August 11th, the early show, 4:30 p.m.
Oh, that's in time for you to go and then still go to bed.
Exactly.
There we go.
You can get in there and get to bed early, be here like nothing ever happened.
I like that.
You don't see a lot of 4:30 shows.
No, you don't. I was
you
just
don't.
thinking that.
That is awesome.
4:30.
I'm going to start calling that the Jason Parkin
It's
special.
the unemployed slot right there.
There you go.
You got nothing else to do.
Or you got to get up early and do a weather spot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So tons of great stuff happening this weekend. If you don't have anything else planned, now you do.
See, maybe, Jason, the Lake Effect did that just for you.
I'm always bothered this time of year because people in Iowa just give up summer. It's like, well, summer's done. They drop it on the sidewalk like a $100 bill and forget about it. And this is summer. Summer lasts till Halloween. Let's get this straight. Summer's not done just because school starts or the fair ends.
Right.
And we need to keep it going in our hearts.
So there you have it. Wise words from our very own Jason.
Well, do you think a lot of that happens because you have the Iowa State Fair and they don't want to compete with that? Because a lot of local bands will be playing at the Iowa State Fair on free stages and things like that.
It really does, and it is a concern for venues. You know how many folks are going to show up now, especially on your kind of money days for the bars, which is Thursday, Friday, Saturday. You know, is how many folks are going to show up on a weekend when they've got the fair to compete with. But you know, generally speaking, I think it's one of those things where if you book good enough acts, obviously not everyone's going to the fair every single day. So there's still plenty of people out there, but I do think it is that kind of mentality of, well, it's August now, fair's kicking in, it's almost done, time for school to start again. Let's just go ahead and stay inside and watch reruns. And so then it kind of just fall to kind of everyone who's not in that mindset to remind everyone to keep summer in our hearts. And to get out and kind of keep doing stuff, because there is still plenty of great stuff to happen. But especially after a year like this, where we've had 3 really huge festivals, all happen really within 5 weeks of one another. This was such a big, month and a half of music. It can be very easy to feel that kind of wind down effect, but there's still tons to happen.
Okay.
All right, perfect. Now, if people want more information on bands, where they're playing, and things like that, where do you suggest they go?
I always recommend bandbombshell.com. There's new stuff every day. We put up our pictures of Hinterland Day 1 yesterday. We got Hinterland Day 2 coming up today. And you can catch me every week in City View.
Perfect. Well done. As always, thank you, sir. It is 7:31. We'll be right back. This is Great Day.